Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here, and been given a test drive. I think a bunch of other people, because I've seen other people using this as well. Been given a test drive of this mine laying fast boat in the German queue, and I've been practicing with it a little bit, not much to be honest, but some. I'm wondering, really, what's the point of this within the game? Not what's the point in reality, because, you know, if I can race outside at night, say in a non-radar environment, outside of a port, and drop a bunch of mines. Who's following me? Okay, just was wondering if they are also mine laying boat. I think they may be. These are good ideas, but here, they don't seem to be very persistent, meaning they don't seem to hang around a long time. So I don't know what's going on with this. Like I said, I got to remap this a little bit. I'm not absolutely sure. I don't think they'll harm a... They may detonate, like a torpedo detonates, when a friendly goes over it or hits a friendly, but doesn't harm. I've yet to get a mine kill, and I know ships have gone at least in the areas of my mines, and these are automatically, I see. Oh, I don't have good crews on these, because I really, quite honestly, mostly just play American vessels for the Naval War. Oh, that's a torpedo boat, but it's a hydrofoil. I didn't know the Germans, if they did have a World War II era hydrofoils in service or anything. I don't know about that. That sort of surprises me, but I don't know. Some of the stuff that War Thunder does is very historical. Other stuff, like automatically replacing the mines, of course, isn't. Okay, so we've got our mines back. Let's see, I want to drive through the area that we laid them. Okay, they're still here. What happens when I drive over one of them? Nothing. Oh, it blew up but didn't hurt me. Okay, so they're still here. I'm just checking, because I thought they would be sort of like torpedoes in that way. Well, we're going to probably detonate one. Maybe not. Okay, so they're staying around a bit longer. Now, if the map was... did we get a mine? Okay. Yeah, a suicide run in a game like this can be a tactic. Obviously, you don't do that in real life, generally speaking. And I don't know whether my ping is really bad on this or theirs is. Okay. Well, somebody's made it back. Oh, did we just get a mine kill? I think we just did. Okay. Let's go into this little LS and see what we can do. This guy's fast and small. Before I was doing all this, I had worked him up mostly, so. He's a good scout vessel. Now, I totally get that they need to have the game be that friendly fire, whether it's torpedoes or mines, doesn't hurt friends, because otherwise there'd be just, trust me, if you haven't spent 20 minutes on the internet yet, or in multiplayer gaming, there's enough assholes and jerks that would just out of malice want to mess with people on their own team. That would just be unplayable. And yeah, I've gotten mad at people that have done things that oh, we don't really want to slam into the cliff. See if we can drop artillery on their main path of approach. Okay, so we got, I guess it's showing up as a torpedo kill. Oh no, we got a torpedo kill, I guess. So we did launch torpedoes, so I'm guessing that was a torpedo kill. See, I'm actually fairly good at this game with the ships. Oh no, I don't want to go here. I want to go all the way around. Oh, can we turn fast enough? Can we turn fast enough? Yeah, okay. Tried turning in my S-boat and oh, okay. That's an artillery kill. And I grounded it because it's unworked up. Yeah, we're gonna head back there now. I don't know if we have time, but I don't know if I should have gone all the way around. I want to see if, mostly I'm just driving around to see if we get any more kills. I wish that persistently stayed on, or once I set it on, even when they're automatically respawned to be on, so I don't have to hit the button again. Okay, well, we're going to do this again. Yes. Everything has been purchased. More for the Rambuta. And, we can take a look at this here. Oh, quickly. And I can see that this, if they stay around longer, can be, because I'm just playing against low-tiered people, because that's all I have are low-tiered German vessels. They do seem to try to group them in tiers. But I think it's early is best for this thing. If you want to get there before everybody else, this has already been going a bit, but and yes, the whole naval thing is still in beta. I totally get that. So this is not a complaint, you know, because yeah, people are spending money on either early access or getting cool ships and things like that, but I don't know that anybody spent any money on getting the mine vessels yet. So I'm trying to lay them around. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to die, but I just want to try to lay them before I do. Yeah, okay, now we're going to come back with the little one here. Not leading them by enough. There we go. I am not good at deflection. Ooh, was that a... Well, that was a mine strike against a friendly, I think. Oh, I need to hit that, like I say, automatically. I wonder if I hit a mine with a torpedo. What does that do? Okay, okay, I think those are mine strikes, even though they say gun kills, I think. Just because I wasn't actively shooting at anybody. Okay, so that's sort of kind of working. Like I say, this is really more of an investigation, and I'm sharing it with you than any complaint. Okay, well, let's try out a bomber. Let's see if we can get to the area, so we'll go... I know, we're putting it in over throttle. Okay, well... I think we did have two. I think we had 2 mine hits. And there is a destroyer there. But compared to when I'm playing my American vessels and I got a destroyer or 2 in my sort of ready queue. Yeah, I know I should be moving around a lot more and changing position better and whatnot. Oh good. You guys do your job and shoot at the enemy fighters. I see the Typhoon there. Do we waste it on that? No, let's see if we can get it on this guy here. Oh, okay. Ooh, crew knocked out. Okay. He would have been better, but I didn't think I was going to live that. Oh, I'm not even. Didn't even think I was going to live that long. Wow, I'm still alive with all that fire. Well, not for long. Now we got one naval target destroyed with a... Okay, now let's go back to... Well, see, there's A. Maybe they've cleared him out. We're going back to A. Yeah, threat in the air. Again, I like a persistent always on with that. I don't know why they don't do that. I think a bunch of people that are, you know, coming up and launching 2 torpedoes out of these little suckers don't know that they can do just 1. Because at least for most vessels, one is more than enough to take out most of the vessels that they're encountering. Okay, we sent some over here. Like I say, I do think we saw. I think I saw 1 not damage, but explode on a friendly. And 2 strikes, but I dropped a whole lot more mines. Okay, back to hangar. We'll try this again. There does seem to be a different set of maps used here than at higher levels. And some of the maps are fairly open and fairly big. I wish I would see them more often with the higher levels. I'm getting sick of the 2 or 3 that seem to always repeat. Oh, 2 battle, 2 battle. Why am I waiting? 2 battle, 2 battle. There we go. Yeah, like this one would be good for that, and I rarely see it when I play at the higher levels. Okay. Well, let's start with this. Yeah. Let's get away from this fight. Let's go out here and see if we can lay mines like out at C or B or somewhere where we won't see a lot of early engagements. I'm hoping Yeah, let's drop some artillery right there. May not get anybody, but that looks like more likely to be. Okay, we've got a couple of destroyers out here. Could also be the time of day that I was playing too earlier. Might not have had very many people playing, and so I'm going away from you guys. So I'm carrying a load of explosive mines, and I do know they can. Yeah, I see the torpedo. No, we're turning, dude. We're turning, dude. Okay, well, we survived the torpedo. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we needed to survive the torpedo, guys. You may not realize that, but we have a torpedo problem. And I've got a problem of a boat full of explosives that can blow up. Okay, yeah, please, please, yeah. I'm a bigger boat. You're more maneuverable. Okay, let's start laying here. I would like us, if this is going to work out to be something. Okay, where are we going? Okay. I have my hand off the mouse right now. So, let's go for this sort of pass, or whatever you are, channel I should say, between the islands here, and see if we can drop some mines in front of it. Okay, and since we're looking like we're going to make it to here, see, I like strategy mixing with let's see if we can stay alive and get out of here. Oh, sorry, let's see if I can avoid your torpedoes. Skill, because that's obviously laying mines is got to be a bit more strategy thinking than, you know, fast twitchy fingers. Looks like we're, see, I can't get him to zero in on the closer guy. Oh, he blew up on the shore, it looks like. Okay, we're almost, oh, there's come, oh, I think they're going away from us, the torpedo tracks. Okay, we've got oh good, we've got a kill assist out of it. Thank you guys. I'm not really trying to do much in the way of course, friendlies moving through my area that I've just mined might not be the best thing. Let's go check out here and see if there still seems to be mines near the capture point. They should show up blue if we get close enough to them, and when I'm further away, I think I've seen them floating in the water. Yes, 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 yes. I see them here. I see them. See if we can miss them. Yes, I hear the bombs coming in, and we have way too much explosives on board to want to deal with impacts on things. Don't know if I should want to dump my mines faster or something. Okay, so let's see if we can. Okay. Torpedo got me. Let's try the bomber again. I'm impatient. I want to get there now. Yeah, back to regular speed. Stukas are good dive bombers, but they are slow. Well, when you have a bunch of anti-aircraft guns on a ship with good sort of anti-aircraft gun sights, I can really see the idea of taking down, especially if you're coming really close to the enemy vessels. But I think there's... I'm not going to waste a bomb on you. Let's go for somebody a little bigger. I'm probably going to... Yeah, well, we sort of hit one a little bit. And so yeah, we're probably getting... I think we're gonna crash. Wow, we crashed. Okay, hey, let's grind this up a little bit. Probably won't last long enough, but like I say, currently I'm really bad, or it's really not ground up. Or not worked up crews, because I... well, the torpedo warning was timely, but we still didn't make it. Oh, we hit you. Yes, we're getting run over by. Yeah, drop bombs on one bomb on two of us. Oh, he's pulling away. See if we can take him out. Yeah, we're overwhelmed. Our little crew here is overwhelmed with too much to do right now. We got bombed by what, a Stormovik or something? Well, it doesn't seem like we got anybody with mines this time. Now, that doesn't mean... Let's look at the tactical map. You know, they've got that. I had put a bunch around here, so presumably they would have either had to come around this way or not. I don't know. So I just wonder the persistency on them. How long do they stay there? They are out there for the once you launch them for the rest of the mission? Or do they go away after a while? Okay, well, thanks for exploring the mines with me. It's a fascinating idea. I get asked all the time, do they have submarines? And no, they don't. Will they have submarines? Well, some of the anti-submarine vessels have the option to, if you work up, to have depth charges on them. So that means that they might be planning it if you're having depth charges. Now, you can equip or unequip depth charges once you've earned them. We'll go return to the hangar and I can show you since we're talking about it. Yeah, we lost, or it's still in progress, but whatever. Okay, come back to the American. Let's do this, and let's choose a crew here. What crew do we? Okay, there we go. Okay. This guy here has depth. Oh, we got a Rambuta. Okay. No crew. Cancel. Finish. And okay, we need to do another better Rambuta to get up there. Okay, well, let's go back to the Americans. Okay, this guy here is a sub hunter, and it can have depth charges. We can look at its modifications. Now, they're calling them mortar bombs here, and I've oh, well, they have the depth charges here, and okay, but you have to have the mortar bombs, because they're actually anti-submarine mortars. I have them uninstalled right now, so you don't see them, because see, without loadout here. Okay, so I have without loadout, because if you have them and something like a bullet goes through them, they blow up. The mortar bomb elements are things on these racks to shoot out in front of. I have one time been destroyed by a depth charge that somebody was basically almost in contact with me and fired depth charges as he was going by, and it blew up and hit me. So I have seen them used in, well, that's the only time, one time have I seen them used in combat. And I guess they may have a timing capability, mark whatever, but we could install them on the vessel and depth charge things. I don't see, maybe I've just missed it or didn't care about it. Okay, yes, we can put in depth charges also, and I just haven't cared to since I learned that it wasn't a good idea with the earlier one, is that they have depth charges on the frigates. So I presume any other vessel that had depth charges. So we can load them on the frigates. You see them here cosmetically right here. These racks are empty, but these are depth charge throwers, meaning going out to the side for better pattern. So I think they're planning on submarines. I really think, because they put in the effort to do it, and there is no good reason to have depth charges on this destroyer right now. I don't know why I keep wanting to say frigate, but destroyer. So because if small boats are that close to you, or the enemy's that close to you, yeah, it's not likely that you're going to depth charge them. So since they've gone to the time to do it, I suspect highly that they will do submarines. Now, my concern with the submarines, and it may change, and I've just not played any realistic battles, but I probably should try that out, and to see whether they automatically respawn torpedoes. Submarines with an unlimited amount of torpedoes can spam out torpedoes and be very hard to hit. Now, there is also no modifications that I can see in any way for sonar. Okay. But I'm guessing that's just unnecessary, so they haven't done it. You have the map here. You can easily add in a sonar map for submarine hunting. Okay, so submarines with unlimited torpedoes could just spam out. And sure, they got to wait a little bit to get more and just keep spamming out and be very hard to see and very hard to hit, because right now we can gun. This guy can shoot across most of the maps. Maybe not very effectively hit anything, and maybe sort of at the range limits at the farthest extremes. This guy can easily, his 6-inchers can easily hit anything on the map. Now, accuracy may not be good, but the gun itself can hit on the map. So this guy at the far end of the map can be shooting at somebody else. Now, submarines are going to be slow if they're historical, though they have a tendency to speed things up in this game. And so since they're slow, and since it's going to be, you've got to like go get over them, over the submarine to sink it. You have to go and go to it way out there, not just shoot at it way out there. I think the missions would need to be a lot longer as well. So my guess is, and we will see, they've added helicopters to the game. Okay. I'm not playing helicopters because I want to play basically World War II. Not that the other periods are bad or I would object to it. I wouldn't object to playing other periods. It's just what I really want to play is World War II. So there were no real effective combat helicopters in World War II. The Americans used them a little bit, I think, in Burma theater, early primitive stuff, and Germans used them a little bit for some pilot rescue on the Eastern Front, a little bit. And sure, some of those may have had a machine gun stuck on them somewhere, but they weren't really proper attack helicopters or combat helicopters of any sort. So if we're looking at possibly a specialty scenarios or something, but so I just figure when I saw that they had depth charges that they were someday thinking of doing it. But I think the basic game's got to get out of beta first, the naval warfare, and they'll probably put in heavy cruisers and battleships before they put in submarines. Now, what they could do, and what I would like to see them do, is put, instead of these, I mean, the graphics are stunning in my opinion. Now, I'm going to do this here. You're not seeing it just yet. This is turning out to be a longer video than I had planned. For this talk afterwards, a definitely longer video than I planned. I shouldn't have. Where? Maybe. Oh, come on. No, not there. I collect so many photos of various things for various reasons. Oh, well, I was going to show you what one of my first tank sim games looked like. Oh, here it is. Let's bring that down here, close, or reduce that, and I'm going to... Okay, this is one of the first tank sim games that I didn't play it on the Atari. There was another one that I was sort of involved with that basically was either this or something like this, and just very peripherally. I don't want to take too much, no coding or programming, but it was an early tank sim game, and obviously this is just repeating through it. But this is where my tank sim on the Apple II, again this is an Atari, but started. Okay, and the one I sort of, if I remember correctly, had a little more than just triangles and squares that were objects you couldn't shoot through, but you could only do these lines and only see through them. Okay, so just to understand, you youngins out there, this is where I started all this. Not just started playing, but started dealing with this to some degree. Okay, so this the graphics here are stunning and very realistic in the sense, but the playing fields are very unrealistic. What I would love to see would be a mission like one side is convoy escort. So you have a bunch of not too stupid, but AI controlled freighters, say, and it needs to get from point A to point B, and you got maybe so many spawns or whatever, and you've got to escort the convoy, and that could be submarine attacks. That'd be cool. You could, that would be, one side mission could be submarine attacks. The other side mission could be surface attacks. The another mission, might be these or heavier ships against like the Bismarck or the Gras Spey attacking a convoy of ships that they have an AI that's going to sort of kind of be intelligent for the non-combat vessels, even if they're we're talking freighters, even if they have, say, anti-aircraft guns that shoot at the enemies, they can have some of that, but set it up to where you have an objective to protect, they have an objective to take, and otherwise it's at least mostly, there might be one side of the field has a fjords on it or something like that, and then the rest of the other side of the field just be open sea, and so there'd be some ability to hide somewhere and come on out to attack, but it would mostly be like open sea battles, protecting a convoy or protecting a carrier and that type of thing. And so there could be a really lot of fun scenarios to play against enemies. And of course you win or lose by how many vessels get through the merchant vessels, and how many you lose, and you lose and you get more points for killing enemy vessels too, but instead of just purely murder the enemy vessel or whatever. So yeah, so those are my thoughts. I thought it was interesting about the mine laying. Love to hear your thoughts on the mine laying. Love to hear your thoughts on submarines, and because just having a periscope that comes up, and even if you set up, because like the British had the fruit machine as they called it, that they plug in all the data, and this is why I haven't really tried the realistic battles yet, is because, see, this is here an early range finding device. You have at least one thing there and one thing, one optic there and one optic here, and you have to focus both of them, and it, because it's spread out, it triangulates and tells you the range. Also, you would have something that would help you to determine its speed, the enemy's speed, and then you plug in, because if you know its distance and you know how far it's traveled in a certain amount of time, at that, it's 5,000 yards away, it's moved, and then you go from here to here, and it's moved that far, and it's that distance away, and it did it in 10 seconds or however much time, and then you can get an idea of its speed, and then you put in its direction that generally you have to sort of figure out from the angle of the ship. So speed, direction, and all of that, and then you also put in your speed, your direction of the ship, because if you've noticed, sometimes I'm, if this building is the enemy vessel and I'm going this way and it's going this way, I have to shoot here because it's moving, so I'm going to shoot to where it's going to come to be. But maybe I should even shoot over here, because I'm not only am I putting forward, or I'm putting motion on the gun or the projectile going this way, I'm putting motion because I'm going this way. So the bullet's leaving it this sort of path, and if I'm shooting at this building and moving in this direction, it's going to be here by the time the round gets here. But since I'm also going, it's pushing the round this far, so I have to aim here to hit here when it gets there. So all of that's done with ballistic computers. And you put that in, and they keep updating the ballistic computers. And no, they're not video screen computers, you youngins. They don't have any of that. They just they're mechanical, and they you put in all of that, and then you put the sight on this target here. And this is the way it really sort of works, is you put the sight on this ship with all of that there, and it points the gun here. That's one thing I didn't realize in arcade battles, especially for these bigger ships. It wasn't doing it first, because there should be guys here in all of this bridge apparatus taking in all of that data down in the CIC Combat Information Center is a bit more than just that, but that's part of it. Taking in all that data, plugging it into their machines, and so the gunner may just for these guns will generally just go, oh yeah, hands off, because this guy up here, let's get this x-ray off, the guy up here, or really the guy in here, let's see, does the x-ray it now, but off, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, there's a few people in here, this is the radar above it, but in here, that are aiming all 5 of these big guns when they're all linked and firing as one. And so the guy up here points it at the ship. They're collecting all that data that I was talking about down in here somewhere, collecting all that data, doing going through the mechanical computer. And so when he goes, okay, yeah, shoot at that building, and they already know. And so he puts the sights on where he wants to hit the building. I want to hit the building right here at that window. Okay. And so all the guns fire, and they're all pointing over here, because, again, we're going forward, they're going this way. And so when the rounds finally get there, and this is obviously very close, but we could expand the distance out. By the time the rounds get there, they will intersect. That window will be right here at the time. That is how these guns work. But what would happen is this would get knocked out, or the target's over here, and there's targets over here. Well, so they might let these rear guns in individual control, and they would then have taking some of that information coming out of it into the ballistic computer to help them individually aim their guns at other targets. You can sort of see the windows up top here. That is meant to be to see aircraft as well, because they would use their ballistic computers to compute the when the round should explode, because this is high explosive variable timed fused shell. So the idea that it goes up, goes for a tenth of a second, 10 seconds, 3 minutes, no, probably not 3 minutes, but whatever the time is, and then blow up near an aircraft is what it's designed to do. But it could also blow up near like a motor torpedo boat or some such thing. So they have a thing in each one of these turrets that you stick. Oh no, I just want to close this. That you stick the end of the shell into that sets it. So it gets these variable times, and we'll come over here, as in the forward one. They did have them in the rear too. I don't know if this gun ever really had a good handling. It has to have some sort of handling room below it, but we can see here better. This is where the ammunition is stored. Then it comes up here, and there's actually another whole room called the handling room down here. And then from there, it's loaded up onto magazines ready to shoot as per ordered. You know, what type of shell you're shooting, okay? You're shooting high explosive, you're shooting armor penetration, you're shooting anti-aircraft shells. They get sent up in order. And then just before they're loaded into the gun barrel, they're stuck in this machine that sets the fuse, and then they're set into their gun. And so each round, as they do that, can have a different fuse timing as the aircraft is getting closer or further, or whatever the ballistic computer is telling time-wise that it needs to. And it will also take into effect its trajectory and all kinds of other things to figure out the time. It isn't a human trying to guess. It's, you plug in the distance, the speed, the direction of the fighter or the bomber or whatever. And because you want to know the direction relative to what you're going, because if it's going further away, it needs to know that versus coming closer. And so all of that's going on. And so this is a really heavy team effort. It would quite not be so fun if all you did was drive the ship, meaning steer the ship, and then designate targets. But that's how the captain of the ship obviously really functioned. And even to a point, letting these guys designate the targets, especially if there's only one. And then there was a whole nother computer set up to aim, and these guys just fired the torpedoes when told to. There's a guy, at least one writing on here. There's a guy in that one, and all that metal thing is a blast shield because of this gun, basically, to keep the gun blast from being possibly deadly, but basically more comfortable to be around. But otherwise, these are the same thing. And I think these are all manually targeted, but they do there is a ballistic computer that does tell them where to point the torpedo tube. So they're not just making a guess, looking at it and figuring it out. they're getting an information, but I don't think it's centrally controlled, as in pointing from, you know, either up here or the bridge or somewhere else. I'm pretty sure it's these guys pointing it, and then once it's lined up onto the right axis and they've been told to shoot at, you know, to fire, then they fire. And, you know, whether all of them, one of them, whatever. So all this is being a very big team effort. So there's a lot of things you can do with naval warfare, and could be a quite interesting game. And obviously, and I totally get, and I don't want to be plugging numbers into a computer. I want this to be a fast-paced game. I really do want that. So submarines, I bet you they're thinking on it. I would bet money they're thinking on it. I don't know what their time scale is for doing that. Whether that's in 3 or 6 months, I doubt it's before 3 months. Or whether that's in 3 or 4 years. You know, just as we, you know, perfect it. I have no idea. But yeah, so landmines, ships, subs, torpedoes. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Love to see you around more often. Love to hear your thoughts.